Senior Report thanks Edmund Besch of Bristol Burgess Insurance Agency, 65 East Main Street, Westfield, for his generous grant to provide news to seniors. Funding is provided by a grant from New York State Senator Catherine M. Young, representing Western New York's 57th District with a local office in Olean. Funding for Senior Report is provided in part by a grant from Andrew Goodell, Assemblyman for the 150th District of the New York State Assembly. Senior Report with Reed Powers thanks Westfield's Schultz Chevy for a generous grant to inform seniors of important news. Over 50 years of service to Westfield by Chevrolet, Schultz Chevy across from the school. The physicians of Jamestown Primary Care are happy to sponsor the Senior Report. From the Access Channel 5 television studio in Mayville, it's Senior Report with Reed Powers. Senior Report is broadcast live throughout northern Chautauqua County on Saturday morning from 9 to 10 a.m. each week. Call in and share a thought, make a comment, ask a question, or simply wish someone a happy birthday on Chautauqua County's only live call-in senior program. Since 1995, Reed has been bringing viewers hundreds of interesting guests, informing the community on a variety of subjects. Here's the host of the show, Reed Powers.
And good morning. What a beautiful, beautiful day we have in Chautauqua County. In view of the fact that this is winter now, almost, and the temperatures were up in the 50s and 60s yesterday, and today they're going to be warm. And they will drop, though. We're going to get some freezing weather coming up very soon, tonight probably, or tomorrow for sure. So at any rate, get your fire going. A lot of us do use wood burners because wood is a waste product up here in Chautauqua County. When they lumber out a property, they leave all kinds of just tons of wood behind because they take the major branches and cut them off from the trunk. And all that it just rots away if it's not picked up, cut up, chopped, and split and served up to the customers. And people use it for heat, and it's a very inexpensive way to heat, I might add. And it's also a safe, fail-safe way to heat because you don't depend on gas or electricity or oil or anything else. And it's low pollution, so it's really a terrific way to go. Lots of things happening around here in Chautauqua County and New York State and the country. Of course, in the country, nothing but Obamacare and the black fish on CNN. The blackfish, the orcas. They've been doing the same program now on orcas for the last week. It's the same program basically about some orca that's kind of a nutty orca and it keeps drowning people. And they keep him around anyway. I have a feeling he's on his way, though. So at any rate, there are lots of basically important things happening besides the orcas. And I hope that you have an opportunity to pick up on them. Especially, remember, this is November 2nd today. And tomorrow night is Sunday. And daylight savings starts Sunday at 2. So tonight, when you go to bed on the 2nd of November, set your clock back 1 hour. If it says 10 o'clock, set it for 9 o'clock. You get an extra hour of sleep. And you'll be on the right time on Sunday, and you'll make it to church on time. You might be a little early, but who knows. Now, I want to also remind everybody, election time is coming up. Don't forget to vote Tuesday. Yeah, a lot of people don't exercise their right to vote. And if you're going to gripe and moan and groan about the people that are running our communities, politicians, you don't have a leg to stand on unless you go down and at least vote. And you can vote against them if they give you a heartburn, you know. So remember, vote Tuesday coming up. Now, I want to indicate that there's been a change. Archery season's on, incidentally, for deer hunters, and it's very quiet and doesn't rattle anybody's nerves, but they get a lot of deer, believe it or not. There's some excellent archers up here. And the archery in Chautauqua County is just going full blast now, and they're bringing in a lot of deer. Of course, you can now use rifles, which was quite a change. Before, you could only use a shotgun with what they call a pumpkin ball, which is a huge slug of lead instead of shot, and it was pretty inaccurate. The rifle's much more accurate, and packs a real wallop. A lot of these guys are using 30-30s, and they are big guns, believe me. So at any rate, get out in the woods, if not to hunt, just to feel the exaltation of being in the outdoors, the pleasure of being out where the world is very, very fresh and very rare. Take a time out. And I wanted to say, by the way, hello, Monica Murray. Monica Murray is the only person over at Ameritrade with which I had some dealings who seems to have her head on straight. She's a very bright woman, diligent, and does the job. The other characters over there are apparently just drones collecting their money. Hi, Monica Murray. Congratulations. Now, I wanted to hit some of the highlights here in our senior clubs. You know, we have the greatest senior clubs in the world in Chautauqua County. Towns have them, villages have them, churches have them, even tenants groups have them, and they're all over the place, and you can just turn around and look over your shoulder and see your senior group. So join it if you're not a member. It gives you a whole new community, wonderful people, friends of your age and knowledges, and a support group. And for instance, if you're snowed in or something, they'll come to your rescue. And they set up things for you that you need. And don't forget to call the Office for Aging if you do have a need as a senior, and talk to Marianne Spanos, who is going to be our guest today. So if you have any questions of the Office for Aging, crank them up, put them away. The United Senior Citizens is a crowd of senior leaders, and I just wanted to mention they have a calling committee, which means if somebody's ill or somebody's in grief or having problems, they will drop around. And some of the people over there, I just mentioned a couple of them, who are doing this job are Nancy St. George and Marianne Thompson, Patricia Wizrek, and Gertie Mishka. These folks go out, take care of friends and family of the group, and probably others too, and give them solace, give them relief, give them help one way or another if they need it. Happy birthday over there at the United Seniors, Norma St. George, Vicki Stilmack, and Bertie Walzak. I love Bertie. St. George is the president over there, and he tells us the next meeting is going to be held on Monday, November 11th, and anybody's welcome to come. And they have a wonderful, wonderful menu for dinner over there. Roast turkey, stuffing, cranberry. It's just Thanksgiving all over again. Mashed potatoes, you know, the whole works, gravy, and casserole, and tossed salad, bread, and dessert, and all kinds of wonderful edibles will be available. And the Great Belt seniors, they meet in Fredonia, quite a bunch over there. They just wanted to say they have a day trip to Seneca Niagara Casino coming up on Friday, December the 13th. And if you want to get involved, just call them up. Say, his number is 672-5778. Go down with a bus load. They give you usually tokens and lunch, chits and so forth that equal the amount of money you pay for the trip. So you can't go wrong, friends. Don't gamble, though. I use the chits and run. If you win, run. If you lose, run. Otherwise, you will be coming home bare naked from the belt up. You will lose your shirt. All right. I did want to point out that the directors will sponsor a countdown to the New Year Presquial Casino trip, which is December 30th. They'll have fun over there. Dues are accepted in all the clubs now. This is about the time, and they're very inexpensive, like $3, $4, $5 for the year. You can't go wrong. Lakeshore Senior Crowd, Stella Mikulak is the leader and the president. Irene Christopher is very involved over there. She's quite a gal. I had her on the show not too long ago, about 15 years ago. And she talks about, she's very involved in breast cancer support systems. And if you know somebody who needs her help, give her a buzz. Irene Christopher, she's listed. The Red Cross is going to come over and talk about various things that they're doing, and they're having a turkey dinner. You call for reservations. You can start signing up for the Christmas parties now, and Thanksgiving parties, of course, everywhere. Silver Creek Crowd, Ed Newman does the job over there, and Ed Prowse they had a costume party for Halloween, and Ed Prowse was the funniest costume. Ed Newman was the scariest costume. They're having an auction coming up, next meeting, which is November 5. Westfield seniors who meet at the YWCA in Westfield regularly, and God bless the Y for giving them a nice place to go. They're going to talk about hospice, and there's a new form for your health care. It's called the MOLST form, M-O-L-S-T. And basically what you do is delineate what you want. Well, I did that on my own health care proxy. I stuck a notation onto it indicating that I didn't, if I were in a terminal situation, give me painkillers, that's all. No medical help of any kind. Let me pass on peacefully and with grace, please. They have a nominating committee going in Westfield. Fran Anderson is a chairperson, and Donna Augers is involved, and Pat Everts and Ann Cochran, and these folks will do the elections. Pick up the people, usually they're the same people. They're having the next meeting is November 14th. It'll be a potluck, held at noon at the Y. And we have a caller here. Let's, hi, Kara Seeking. She's going to be speaking. All right, here we go. Good morning, John.
Good morning, Reed. How are you?
Fine, fine. How are you?
I'm great.
I thought you were going to be in today.
Oh, did the guys tell you?
No.
I'm in Texas.
Now in Texas? I thought you were going to Canada.
That was last week.
And you couldn't call. You couldn't call in because it was too expensive. I know.
Well, I was also in the middle of things. I just can't always break away. Of course, I could have snuck out, I suppose.
Yeah. Well, I wanted some pears. I need pears desperately.
I know. I got your email. I just have to get back home to give them to you.
Are you coming in next week?
Oh, I'll be here next.
Okay, some pears.
Pears.
Those are the most delicious pears. And I wanted some apples, but a friend gave me a whole bunch of great apples, just terrific apples. And I
have apples too if you need them.
Well, I learned how to peel an apple. First of all, they got to be pretty big. It's not worth screwing with little teeny-weeny apples because by the time you skin them and everything, there's nothing left. But if you get a nice-sized apple, what you do is cut it off at each end, and then take your peeler, just wipe it down, and it takes nothing but seconds, and then chop it up. And oh my gosh, the apples this year are incredible, as well as abundant, I might add. So what are you doing there in Texas, the Lone Star State?
Lone Star State. Well, we're visiting family, former Westfield Ripleyans, Gary and Bev Molson, and they're Bill Molson's brother, my father-in-law, and we're on our annual visit that we often do. Mm-hmm. And we've been bouncing around and looking at different things as usual. Yeah. And I sent you some pictures. I think they have them.
Oh, I don't know. Do you have any pictures there? Let's see them.
Bring up number one.
Okay. There you go. It's a big dome.
Big dome. You see what's on top of that dome?
It looks like some kind of a fence.
Well, it's not. I'm going to go to number two.
Oh. It's those are religious symbols.
No. Those are wind turbines.
Oh, really?
They're vertical axis turbines.
Huh.
And I always try to bring something interesting to the show. And sure. I saw this and I thought, they're always complaining about the big wind turbines that are more the horizontal types with the wing. And I said, this is more and more the technology is getting more creative and looking for alternatives. And these are they call them egg beaters type.
Yeah, that looks like you could actually install those in your own house without any hassle.
Well, it looks like you could put them on buildings, existing buildings, so you wouldn't have to have towers and things like that. So I like to throw that out there for people to think about when you see different things.
Right.
That's what the beauty of travel, as you well know, is you see new ideas, you bring them home.
Sure. Well, these new wind, I've heard that they put them along the thruway, too, because there's an awful lot of wind from the passing trucks. Really?
Yeah. So anyways, and then I thought I'd get you riled up. And I think they should have a third picture.
What's that?
Is there a third picture I sent?
There's a picture of gasoline, it looks like.
There you go. Check out the price of gas. And tell me what the price of gas is in your town today.
It's I just bought some. It was $3 and I believe 69 cents a gallon.
I paid $2.87 a gallon.
Oh my gosh! In Texas, that's what it is.
Yeah, I was in what they call Chautauqua, Texas, which is just down the road from where we are.
Uh-huh.
And I said, my gosh, that's like almost 80 cents a gallon difference.
You bet it is. Wow.
So, I know they tell me it's the taxes, and I know that it's a state tax, a county tax, a local tax.
Right, and it's always for the children, of course. They spend it all on children, right?
But it's just incredible, the price swing, I mean, just go down to the border in Pennsylvania, and you go to the quick fill station with a quick fill card. When I left, I could get gas for $3.19, I think it was, and still that's a significant amount of difference.
Oh, of course it is. Well, it's the taxes. New York is known as the vampire state.
Well, it's living up to its motto.
Yeah.
Hey, there was a couple of things I wanted to share with you. If folks haven't had a chance to check out the online debate between Horgan and Johnson.
Yeah.
I don't know if they have the address for that handy, but I could tell folks, you go to YouTube, you type in Destination Chautauqua Debate, and up it comes, and as of this morning, it was over 104 views on that. So I know it's popular. People want to see these guys. They want to see them in action, listen to them, and hear what they have to say.
Right.
And the crew put together a great show, and it's available because I know Election Day is just a few days away.
Yeah. Yeah, well, they don't always, incidentally, record a lot of the viewings, too, I might add.
Oh, that could very well be.
Yeah.
I suppose it could be in the thousands by now.
It is, probably, because...
probably. It's very popular.
Very likely, yeah. Oh, yeah. I had somebody call me about it. And they said they loved the show.
Oh, great. Well, we hope to do more of those types of things down the road. But nonetheless, it's available for people, and I think it was a good service for folks to hear what these guys have to say. All the time, unless you can go to a debate or something in person, you only read about it in the paper, and you're going through the lens of that reporter, which is
right.
Well, it's always going to be.
Well, the League of Women Voters always has debates.
Right.
And I think you're stepping on their toes.
No, I think we are assisting them. I think we're giving them opportunity.
No, more debate is better debate because we should have these issues out. And every time there is a debate, things change a little bit.
True. After somebody gets slammed around a little bit.
Right.
Change your position.
As the publicity comes in, and Marianne Spanos just arrived here, and she's too smart to come in when we start because she knows darn well we're going to gas away forever and ever and a day. Well, thank you, John, for the call in. And I want to make sure you vote on Tuesday. You got to be back here.
All right, I'm working on it.
And don't forget to set your clock back tonight. Okay?
Oh, that's right. That's right. Okay. Well, that'll give me 1 more hour of sleep.
Yep, 1 more hour.
Folks,
which you won't.
Say hi to Marianne and the rest of the crew, and I'll see everybody next Saturday morning.
With some pears.
With some pears.
Okay, thank you, John.
All right, take care. Bye-bye.
John has a very prolific pear tree, which has incredible numbers of wonderful pears on it.
And, I had a bumper crop, too, this year, yeah.
Well, they say that we're getting all these bumper crops of everything now because it's nature's way of providing for a very harsh winter for the animals.
Uh-oh. I don't know if I want to hear that. Hey, since you were talking about voting, I do want to make sure that people know to check where they're voting this year. The polls, because of the redistricting, you may be assigned to a different polling place. So make sure that you check votechautauqua.com, or if you can't get online, you can ask your neighbor. There should have been something out in the mail this week, but many of the polling places have changed. And I know seniors, and me too, I tend to go where I always went. Well, that may not be the same place this year. So it goes by zip code, so your neighbors should know. Check around before you, as people sometimes get rides to the polling place, I don't want them to end up in the wrong polling place and then not vote. So make sure you know where you're going on Tuesday. The county has a website, votechautauqua.com. If you can't get on the web, seniors can call my office. We're happy to look it up for you.
I just got a call recently. Somebody wanted to know how I was going to vote, and I said, "That's a very private matter, sir."
Yeah.
I do not ordinarily share that with anybody. But I do vote. I wanted them to know that for sure.
Well, we know the seniors vote, so.
You bet they do.
And I've always said, the seniors have a lot of power because they do vote.
Right, and they're watching the home for the aged, I'll tell you right now, very closely. It did go down, I noticed, the same vote. Praise the Lord for those good, caring people that did vote against it, selling it. I happen to be very strongly in favor of keeping it, only because it's symbolic. If you shut it down, you're throwing seniors under the bus, and we've had enough of that. It's over. It's over. No more. Marianne Spanos, she's director of the Office for Aging. She's good enough to come in every month or so and give you the inside dope right out of the office. And there's a lot of things. Now, Marianne, you first of all, I wanted to mention, I probably haven't told you this, you're the first Greek guest I've ever had.
I think you've told me this before,
Yeah.
but I'm not Greek. I'm Polish and Italian.
Well,
I just married a Greek.
Oh, but you make that wonderful
baklava.
Baklava, which is fantastic. And I still have to. I'm waiting for a piece of that baklava. And
well, we'll see you get some this year.
Okay.
I make it for all my staff for Christmas.
Well,
I'll make sure a tray comes up to Channel 5 because you guys all deserve it.
Thank you.
And I hear there's a celebration this week going on.
What's that?
Somebody has a significant birthday.
Is that so? Who would that be?
I think it's you.
Me? I don't have birthdays anymore.
You don't? You should always celebrate your birthday.
Well, being as I'm about to pass on to the 74th year on this earth, I'm very happy about it. And I've been gifted.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
And I'm sure there's a lot of Polish viewers, so we're going to say 100 lat, which means 100 lat.
Well, is that Greek?
No, that's Polish.
Oh,
My father is Polish. I'm a Madejski.
Uh-huh.
And we always sing 100 lat for birthdays. And many of our Dunkirk and Fredonia people are Polish, and so they know 100 lat means I wish you 100 years.
100 lat?
100 lat.
That's a
it's
simple
song.
Okay, but it's got to mean, it couldn't mean that much. I wish you 100 years with
Yes,
one
it does.
word. 100 lat?
Well, there's a whole song that goes with it, and we sing it at all our birthdays in honor of my dad, Jan Madejski, who passed this year. But he brought us a lot of Polish traditions, and one of them was to sing 100 lat to our family members, and it's a nice
sing
wish.
it always now, right?
We always do. We've done it since we were little kids, and people are amazed. Actually, when I worked at the county home, there were so many Polish people there that every time somebody had a birthday, they would come and find me. Can you come and sing 100 lat for us?
Can you give us a verse or two?
Sure, I can sing.
Go ahead.
It goes 100 lat, nie żyje, żyje nam. 100 lat, nie żyje, żyje nam. Niedługie lata, się i przeplat, tan jak haj żyje nam.
Boy, you've had training, obviously.
I've been singing it a long time. I don't know how good my singing voice is, but I try.
Marianne Spanos, a well-known soprano, does a great job.
Alto.
Alto, whatever it is. Well, Marianne, Getting down to
business, huh?
to serious matters,
Yeah.
yes. I've noticed that they've been telling us that there's a lot of assistance for people at the Office of the Aging.
There is a lot of assistance,
What do you got?
and now I want to thank our county legislature for passing a budget that included an extra $250,000 for the Office for the Aging, something that's been needed for a long time because of the stagnant funding from the state and the federal government. We developed a wait list in 2010 that has just grown and grown and grown. And so this extra $250,000 will really help our most frail seniors who are living at home and trying to stay at home. And so we provide, personal care, housekeeping, those emergency response buttons, and meals, many services to keep the frail in their home, and this $250 will continue to help that. Now, we do have a lot of services for well seniors and anybody over the age of 60. Right now, we are in the thick of health insurance counseling. As all of you know, Medicare open enrollment is going on now until December 7th.
That means you can change your plan.
You can change your plans, and many of the plans have gone up in their copays. Now they're blaming this, of course, on the Affordable Care Act, but that's not really true. What's really true is the government is finally holding them to their initial. The reason why all these insurance companies got into Medicare is they said they could do it better. They could do it at less cost than traditional Medicare. Well, they were not doing it 95% of the cost as they claimed they could when they got into it. A lot of them were working at 120% of the cost. So now the federal government is holding them to, you said you could do it better and cheaper and produce a great product. And so that's why you're seeing some of these premiums go up. But our office has been very successful in getting people into plans with very low copays, sometimes zero. So I really encourage all of you. We have certified health insurance counselors. And I want to clarify for people, if you go to your insurance and you ask them for a plan, they're only going to tell you about their plans.
They're going to push it too.
Well, but they're, they're good people, but Independent Health will only tell you about independent health plans. Blue Cross will only tell you about Blue Cross plans. Humana, only about Humana. If you come to the Office for the Aging, we tell you about all the plans. We're not selling you anything. We have no skin in the game here. We only want to save you money. And so we tell you about all the different plans and compare them. We narrow it down so you can make the choice. We don't make it for you. We also produce a computer-generated drug comparison plan. So for your Part D, we will show you, these are your drugs on your current plan and 2 other plans, and you can see where the savings is. So it's really a terrific service. One of my counselors told me a gentleman came in the other day, was paying over $2,000 a year in copays. We got him down to zero.
That is quite a move.
$2,000.
That's quite a move. One of the attacks on the Obamacare, and I'll use that term because he uses it.
Yeah, that's
is that the insurance, you still have to buy insurance. Well, he hasn't been able to get away from the buying insurance. We're the only country in the world that does have insurance for health, but at least he's driven them down to, and from, I think the average insurance today, a normal program gets about 35% in commissions and profits. And the Obama plan only gets 5%, according to the plan.
Well, that's the whole thing, is when these plans got into Medicare insurance over 10 years ago, they said that the whole premise was that they were going to do it better and cheaper for the government, and they haven't been. And
no,
so
you're right.
Part of the Affordable Care Act, or Obamacare, does hold them to that 95% of the cost and holds them to specific baseline coverage that they have to provide.
Yeah, for instance, you can, even though you are ill, you can still get insurance, and
Right.
if you become ill, they cannot drop you like a
You know, there's a great website that I really encourage people to go on, and if you can't go on, you could also give me a call and I will try to get you the video. It was done by the Kaiser Family Foundation. They are an independent group that looks at these things, and they did a cute little video. It's only about 9 minutes long, about what the Affordable Care Act does, what it doesn't do, and what the argument is all about. It's a great way to hone it down so you really know what's in there. It's called Health Reform Hits Main Street. And they also did a recent, it's narrated by Cokie Roberts, and they recently did another one called Obamacare. What's happening now, something like that, and it's narrated by Charles Gibson, the former ABC News correspondent. So really interesting, very unpolitical. They really don't take one side or the other. They just tell you what it's about and what the arguments are all about. So I think it's a good resource for people to look at.
Yeah, well, I must say that makes good sense because, well, I don't know. Do you think they hacked the Obamacare site so people can't get in there?
I don't know. I don't know.
They got some sharp Chinese hacker to come in there and whack it out.
I don't know. But it is telling, I think, that so many people were looking for insurance that it went down. You know?
That's what they say, but I'm suspicious. I think it was hacked by the insurance companies.
My son just came off of my insurance. He's 26 years old, graduated from law school this year, and turned 26 in September. So we are shopping for insurance right now because he's without insurance until he finds a job. So.
Yeah, just tell them to hang out a shingle. You know?
No.
You can't do it that easy anymore?
No, not really.
Mary Ann Spanos, director of our Office of the Aging. How many kids do you have now?
I have two sons. Both are in law school. Well, actually, one's in law school and one just graduated. So
you're going to have a bunch of lawyers.
Yeah, neither one of them want to hang out a shingle, though. They both want to go into either corporate or international law. So
okay, well, that's good.
Hopefully, they will find this younger one will find a job soon and get off my payroll. Hey, I did want to tell people, too, the weather's getting colder. We need to start thinking about heating assistance, and as many people may not realize, the Office for the Aging is no longer doing the HEAP program. It has not gone away from the county. It's just that it made more sense with all the changes that New York State is putting on the program to have social services do it all from their office. We still have information and have forms for people. As right now, we're still working on the people who got it last year. So the HEAP is not open for new people yet, but it will be soon. But you can call 1-800-342-3009 is the HEAP hotline.
Or they could call you and you'd give them the number. Yeah,
we'll transfer you up to social services. People who need assistance, they can get that at the Dunkirk Social Services Office in Jamestown or in Mayville in the Hall Clothier building. So they can still come in for help. And even if they come to our place, we'll direct them to the right place.
Last year I applied for it, and they said, first of all, I asked them, will you, I have a wood burner, that's how I heat. And they said, no problem, we'll send you wood. And so, by golly, after I was done, I filled out a lot of forms and sent them, and they sent me 2 logs.
Thank you. Not quite that, but
you don't get too much out of them. Though. You got to fight and scratch and carry on.
Well, it is good for people who are really struggling, and we know people will pay their bills before they eat. and which is a really sad state of affairs, but I understand the seniors' feeling of obligation, but there's no reason why you shouldn't go out without heat or without food. There is assistance out there for you, and so really call our office and we'll help connect you.
Yeah, well, one of the biggest villains here is the United States Congress, because they have failed to give a true and honest COLA to seniors for their Social Security. So more and more seniors are in trouble. You know, the AARP has a program now, Feed the Seniors. Give me a break here.
Well, I think the bigger problem is that they failed to pass a budget. And many things like the Older Americans Act, which provide money for these programs, haven't been reauthorized in several years. But there is a move right now. It just passed the Senate Help Committee to reauthorize the Older Americans Act with some modest increases. And
very modest, I'm sure.
Well, but it's a start. You know,
Yeah.
we didn't have a bill.
Yeah.
You know, it was supposed to be reauthorized 2 years ago, and it wasn't happening. So I commend the Senate Help Committee for finally getting a bipartisan bill through, and hopefully it will pass the full Senate and on to the Congress. I have talked several times to Congressman Reed from our area. He's very supportive of this, of the Older Americans Act. Also Senators Gillibrand and Schumer, they have also been very supportive of getting it passed, but our Congress has not been too successful with getting anything passed,
Well,
so hopefully...
they have the shutdown, and incidentally, Congressman Reed, among others, have voted for the shutdown, which has caused us real trouble. We got a phone call. You want to take a call?
Sure.
Hey, good morning, caller.
Good morning.
What's
well,
up?
This is kind of a personal note for your guest.
Okay.
Question, I'm sorry, for your guest. And that is, in lieu of the county executive not, our current one not rerunning, so there's definitely going to be a new county executive. And since your job is appointed by the county executive, will this affect you?
Definitely,
It always does.
would affect me. I would
always
need
does.
to be reappointed. So this could be my last time on your show.
Well, I'll still have you on anyway, because you're beautiful, among others.
Oh, thank you. You're perfectly right. So whoever wins the election on Tuesday can choose to reappoint me or replace me.
I've seen.
I certainly would like to stay where I am.
Which one would be more likely to reappoint you?
I really am not going to say that on the air.
Like me.
I'm trying to stay in the middle.
Political.
And it's very hard
Yeah.
to stay in the middle, because I've been watching the county for about 20 years on the air now, and every time there's a change in administration which is adverse to the person who's in charge of the Office of the Aging, they disappear like the snow in July.
Well, I hope that's not the case. You know, I do know that I was chosen by a bipartisan, by a committee before the county executive appointed me to the position. So I'd like to think that I've made a difference in this community, and even if I'm not the Office for the Aging Director, I will continue. I'm a physical therapist by profession and worked 20 years in this county as a physical therapist with seniors. So I will continue to work with seniors on some level, but I've really enjoyed being the Office for the Aging Director.
And you've done a wonderful job.
Well, thank
my
you.
Opinion.
Is this your mother?
No, but
My mother is in San Francisco right now.
I have had a couple occasions.
You just dial it up. It's it's easy.
Well, thank you.
I have had a couple occasions that I've that I've chosen to use the Office of the Ages, and they have been superior, very helpful, got me answers, helped me not only get answers, but get what I needed, and I can't say enough good. You're doing a great job. So
Well,
whoever
thank
wins,
you.
I hope they reappoint you.
Well,
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mom.
You know, I really have to credit, my dad. I grew up in a family business, and, the customer was always right and always came first. And if we didn't give the customer everything they wanted, in the pharmacy. We not only got it at work, we got it at home. And I also credit my grandparents. I was very lucky to grow up with all 4 of my grandparents. And so I think they had a big influence on me. I loved spending time with them, and I love spending time with seniors. And I think they have contributed so much to our society that we need to give back, especially in their golden years, which can
Here.
not be so golden for many of them.
That's true.
Because they're living alone. You know, we see in our programs that the majority of people we serve are living totally alone. A lot of them do not, you know, with our jobs taking us away, the younger generation, they're here by themselves. Their children could be across the country. And they need somebody who can go in and see mom face to face. And we do get panic calls from children and relatives saying, can you go see what's going on? And they work with us long distance.
Incidentally, that's what it was a charm in part of Wheels on Meals, because somebody did visit them.
Yes. You know, Meals on Wheels, all of our 3 meals programs are fabulous in that way, but there are so many other ways we need to touch people. You know, people are living with chronic conditions, diabetes, they've had a stroke, or they have congestive heart failure, and insurance assistance only goes for a few weeks, if a month. If you're lucky. And so these people who need long-term help are getting it through Office for the Aging in our home care program. And you know, the average age in that program is 82. 82 years old. We have over close to 300 people that we are getting continual help from our office, and they're 82 plus.
That's the laugh of the long-term care insurance, because most people who need long-term care are in their 80s, and usually late 80s, and you can't get insurance at that point. You can't afford it. You can't afford it. It's like thousands of dollars.
Well, unfortunately, though, long-term care insurance only covered people to go into a nursing home. Many people don't want to go into the nursing home. They want to stay at home, and these lower care individuals can do it with just a little bit of help. If you only need help, if you can get around pretty well, but you need help with shopping and with a bath once or twice a week, 2 to 6 hours of home care can do it for you.
And meds too.
And there's medication systems that are available too. So.
Okay, well, thank you, caller.
Thank you so much.
2 more callers. Good morning, caller. You're next.
Good morning, Reed.
What's up?
I was wondering, my kids got some new computers, and they were trying to get me to learn how to use a computer. I was wondering, is there services that I could learn how to use a computer?
Can you teach them?
Actually, we have computer trainers through our senior employment program. We have a program called Generations Online, and it's a one-on-one tutorial with a trained coach. It's available in several libraries. I think the Dunkirk Free Library, the Westfield Library, our Jamestown OFA office, and there's a couple other locations that I can't think of off the top of my head, but you can call our office. I think they just had it on the screen, and we will direct you to the computer training site closest to you. Now, this is a real introductory computer training, so learning how to do email, learning how to search the internet, turn on and off the computer, use a mouse. If you're beyond that, then we really refer you to BOCES has programs, and the different libraries have a step-up program from that. But it's a nice introduction.
There you go, friends.
Then say I don't have a way to get to a local library. Is there any way that either someone could help with a ride, or I could do it in my home?
Well, our coaches don't come to your home, but we can talk to you about transportation through carts. So that's an option. So I would say call our office and we'll figure out something for you.
There you go.
Alrighty, thank you very much.
Carts is our local bus service in the
Yeah.
county. How much does it cost to go on Carts if you're a senior?
Oh, it could be a donation of just, and I don't remember the amount, but I want to say like $3, $5.
Peanuts.
Yeah,
It's close. I think it's closer to 3, actually.
Yeah, it's a donation.
Yeah.
So if you're a senior, you pay a donation. We do encourage those donations because it helps us just provide one more ride to somebody else.
Right.
Unfortunately, we get a lot of people who think our services are free. They're not really free because we get only so much money, and if we don't bring anything in donations, we really aren't able to serve everybody. So if you can give, please do, because it helps the next person.
There you go.
And the same thing with our meal programs. So.
Okay, well, you just received $200,000 more from the county, and I wanted to point out that this is matched, isn't it, in part?
No. The money that the county gave us is the match usually. So we get an initial amount, the $700,000 that we get from local money is used to draw down our state and federal dollars. This is an additional amount of money, but let me caution people, this is to be, we went after this money specifically to help people get off that wait list for home care services. So it's not going to translate to all the programs that we have. We still need donations for those programs in order to keep going with transportation and everything else. So, and actually we had asked for $500,000 because of the people that were also waiting for meals, for some people need some emergency, emergency repairs to their home.
That's CRIC, isn't it, does that?
Well, CRIC works with us, and they do get some grants, but the grants have dried up. And so, if somebody just needs a safety rail or they need a ramp to get in and out of their home, what do they do if they don't have the means to do that? It could be a safety issue. We don't want them falling down the steps and then winding up in the hospital. So we were very fortunate with the Chautauqua Region Community Foundation found us an anonymous donor to help veterans who need emergency home repairs and safety devices for their homes, including ramps, safety rails, and bathroom modifications. And this gentleman, I assume he's a gentleman, I don't know, but already donated $95,000 to that program, and we were able to help about 20 veterans this year with various projects. Projects on your home, though, are expensive, so, but he continues to give. And that frees up other money that we have for people who are not veterans. So
I wish we knew his name. We'd give him a real big hats off, because it's so wonderful, that somebody cares enough, especially for vets, and especially for those who have probably been injured in battle, because these people are very, that's to a major degree immobilized. They can't get around the way you and I can.
Right, and so this is going for people who are definitely frail or disabled. And remember, it can be a veteran of any age. It doesn't, even though it's coming through, the Office for the Aging is administering this program, the veteran does not have to be 60 or over. These are private monies, and so they can go to a veteran of any age who's in need. We do an assessment to make sure, and we also look at what can be provided by the Veterans Agency, the federal agency, as well as other people in the community before we use this money. We want to make sure that there's no other funding available. So
there you go. This is a month for veterans, so you're supposed to think of them today.
Yes. My son is a veteran. He's a Marine. Yeah.
I almost became one, and I'm kind of aggravated because I went down twice to the office to sign up, and they found that I had a pelvic tilt, a little slight, like an average.
And that disqualified you?
That disqualified me, and I was so enraged. I insisted, which was my right, that I have a second opinion. And so some other guy strapped me down on a table and everything, took out a tape measure. He said, yeah, you have a 1/4 inch pelvic tilt. You can't serve. Well, I tried, so I should get some sort of credit here.
I don't know if it works that way. No? But my dad was a veteran of the Korean War. He worked mostly stateside, but my son was in Iraq and Afghanistan as a Marine in the Marja offensive, and I really commend all of our military and the parents of our military. I think those families go through a lot when their children are deployed. I'm thinking of you and praying that your sons and daughters come home safely.
Right, me too. Let's think of the 2 congressmen who have children who are actually in the line of fire right now. 2 out of how many? 500,000 or something. But at any rate, Marianne Spanos doing the job here. Now, there's one little thing I wanted to ask you about, and it's just come out. You may not have much information about the Morsi program for your. This is basically your request for care if you are immobilized or terminal or can't think for yourself. What's this new Morsi program?
Is this a local? I really don't know what that is.
It's apparently a federal or state anyway deal, and it's a new form that you fill out other than the health care the one that you have now, and it delineates what you want. I did that anyway on mine. I said, croak me if I'm sick. If I'm
well,
terminal.
I know that there have been some changes in the Medicaid program. I'm not sure what you're referring to, but where it used to, if you're diagnosed with a terminal disease and don't have insurance, I believe there are new. It used to take like 3 or 4 years to get into some of these programs, and the rules have all changed to fast track you. I don't know if part of it comes through Social Security, but that may be what are you talking about MOLST?
Oh. Most, I'm sorry. Mercy Most.
Okay. Now I look at what you're...
I should have these on, I just can't read very well.
Yeah, a MOLST is is what we call medically ordered life-sustaining treatment. And it's really for people who have been diagnosed with a terminal disease so that your wishes are followed. And our Chautauqua County Health Network has kind of been the leader in getting, along with hospice and many other agencies, to get people to use these forms so that your wishes are carried out. A lot of people don't want to think about the fact that we're going to die at some point, and some of us have been diagnosed. I know when my dad was diagnosed with cancer the month before he died, these were things that we had to make sure were in place so that his wishes got followed at the end.
This one differs in that you have to have your doctor sign it,
Right.
Currently.
So this is, if you are having a home care agency or go into the hospital or are in hospice care, and you are being under the care of a medical professional, this gives them the doctor's order to either not do something that you don't want or to do something. So the doctor does have to sign off on it. It's a little bit different than a healthcare proxy, but you should do both. Healthcare proxy is where you designate somebody to speak for you if you're unable to speak for yourself. And everyone should do that. In fact, I made my boys do it after they turned 21 because I'm no longer legally able to speak for them once they're 21. And so even though my son went off to the military, it was important to get a healthcare proxy in place. Even though the military would make his decisions while he was in there, if he had been injured and then discharged, I would have had to go to court to become his guardian if he was unable to make his own decisions. So simple piece of paper takes only a few minutes to do, but really important to get in place. And we are so lucky to have a registry of those healthcare proxies. You no longer have to remember where you put it. You can send it into our local registry, and then it's available whenever you want it, whenever your doctor wants it. It's in a secure place that only the doctors can look at, and the hospitals. You can look at it, and then you're also reminded on a semi-annual basis, like every couple years, to update it. So
make sure your healthcare proxy, the person who speaks for you, has one.
Well, you need to make sure that they know you've named them. You shouldn't be naming someone that you haven't had a conversation with.
Right. Okay, we have a couple more calls.
Sure, let's take a call.
Okay. Hey, good morning. Thank you for calling.
Well, good morning. This is Linda Spalding. Good morning,
Well, hi,
Mary
Linda
Ann. Good
Spalding.
morning,
Good morning, Linda. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. It's so good to see you on the show on this bleak morning.
Thank you. I have to say you had a wonderful costume for Halloween. She was scaring everybody in the office.
What was your costume?
Oh, she was dressed up like I don't know what you were supposed to be. Scary old man, I guess.
I had a witch's cape on with a hood, but I had a scary old man
Mask.
And it was one of Doug's. Doug's used to wear it on Halloween, so I thought I would wear it.
I have a picture of you, both of you, at a Halloween party my son threw one time. And I just happened to think of that and looked at it the other day.
I have that picture. You sent that to me a long time ago when you came to your Halloween party.
Yeah. Okay, so Linda, what's new with you? We're talking about provided services by the Office for the Aging, and I know you provide one of them, computer training we were talking about.
Free computer training we provide for all seniors, entry level with Generations Online. We're providing it at the library in Westfield, the Patterson Library, the Dunkirk Free Library, and at the Jamestown Office for the Aging. And we've trained well over 900, probably 1,000 people to date.
I need training. You know, my computer abuses me. It really annoys, it annoys me.
It's got a mind of its own, huh?
Yeah.
Right?
When I get on the computer at home, I can't get off of it. The time goes by too quickly,
I know.
I hesitate to get on it.
Well, it's a habit.
And also, we have some openings coming up with the Senior Employment Program, and people are also getting jobs off the program, very good jobs, so people should call if they're interested at the Office for the Aging, and I'm sure Marian's given the number, but here it is again.
It's 753-4471.
That's right.
There you go. I've got to memorize, you notice? I didn't even have to look.
Hey, that's good.
Well, have a great weekend.
Well, you too, Linda Spalding,
Linda.
and thank you for calling in. And we'll be waiting to see you out ice fishing shortly.
Shortly. I hope not too soon, though. I'm not ready for the ice yet.
Okay, we're running down on time. I want to give you the last 30 seconds without chopping you because I just received this notice that came through. We're out of here.
Okay, well, I did want to remind people about health insurance counseling. It's going on until December 7th, so please call the Office for the Aging if you want to get an unbiased opinion on your health insurance for people who are on Medicare plans. Also wanted to let you know about a new program that you're all eligible for. It's called Care Transitions. If you or your loved one have been in the hospital recently, you may be eligible to have a coach come to your home. So please take advantage of this service. The coaches are through the Office for the Aging for people who have serious chronic illnesses. It's not in lieu of any other program. It's in addition, and it helps to connect you to all the different services that are out there. So look for your Care Transitions coach. And then we have a fundraiser coming up on October 12th in the Office for the November 12th in our Hall Clothier building here at, in Mayville, and we hope you'll join us. The proceeds go to support our picnic. It's really going on all day. There's a lunch available, but we also have all kinds of things for sale, and that goes for our Christmas baskets to help with the picnic and other things that we don't have funding for.
Thank you very much, Mary. Marianne
Thanks.
Spanos, will you come again soon?
Certainly.
I want to thank some other people here, the
Okay.
people that make this program possible. Chris Burt, Randy Burt, Chuck Kelsey, Devin Taylor, Chris Remaker, Jeff Zook, who does all our engineering now, Don Zenz occasionally, and always John Hamels. May all that is proud and true and noble abide with you when you go out to vote this Tuesday, and don't forget, set your clock back tonight, 1 hour. I'm Reed Powers.